Hey guys, if you like the content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on with the bell. Thank you. Yo, what's up guys? Partywaffles here, and today I'm coming at you guys with a 9.15 Unholy DK PvP guide. We're going to start this off, and we're going to get right into the talents here, and I'll discuss each talent for you guys. First, I'm going to show you the build that you're going to be playing, okay? This is going to be the best build right here. From everything that I've tested so far, this seems like the best build, okay? But I'm gonna go through the talents and explain other talents that you can play in different variations. So the first row, you can play. So pretty much the only time I'll change this really is if, say if I'm fighting like a paladin or something with bop, like Clawing Shadow hits through bop. So sometimes if I want to just kill a paladin or something, or if I'm fighting like a rogue mage or something that's going to run away, like a double DPS, sometimes I'll swap out to the old Clawing Shadows there. You can do that. It's not a big... It's okay. You can use that if you want, but this is for the best build. This is going to be it. This is what it's going to look like, okay? The next row. All three of these talents have uses. So the best one is going to be most likely Even Fever here for the dot, as well with the dot conduit. It's going to do insane damage. The dot is usually my top damage, so you're going to be using that. But sometimes if you want, if you want more burst damage, you could play Unholy Blight, and it's more ramp up. You know, you play the dot, ramp it up, boom, your pet. But that goes better with Frenzied Monstrosity, which is not the build we're playing. So, but Bursting Swords, sometimes I use Bursting Swords actually, even with this build. Occasionally, I'll switch to Bursting Swords if I want to kill like an Argered Warrior or something per se, for instance, because if you use Bursting Swords with where is it? With Doom Burst and the Death Coil Conduit, your Death Coils can hit like 16, 17k. So if you get two procs and you do a big go on a Druid or something, you can kind of just destroy them sometimes if you get good RNG. But so occasionally I might play that. The next row, you're only going to play Asphyxiate for the next row. This row, that glitch, sorry. You're not playing Pestilent Pustules. That, I don't know why that was like that. Don't play that. Not with the build we're playing, at least. You're going to play Harbinger of Doom, okay? So this is the build, sorry. My mistake. I didn't know why that was a second. Yeah, so you're going to play Harbinger of Doom for the 2 sudden Doom procs because you're going to be playing big Death Coils, right? So the more free big Death Coils you have, the better. Also, the Conduit makes sudden Doom procs hit harder. So there's that. Soul Reaper, I play this into double DPS. But other than that, no. The next row, you can play anything on the next row here. Spell Eater, if you're fighting casters, you can play Spell Eater. Sometimes if it's like a mage, though, I like to still play Wraithwalk because I don't like to get caught in roots. Although this spec is pretty ranged, so it's not the end of the world if you do get caught in a root. Death Pack, personal preference if you like it. I personally don't use Death Pack myself, but some people do. The next row, Unholy Pack is going to be the only choice you're playing in this row. Pretty straightforward. And for the next row, there's a little bit of variation here, but for the build that we're playing, you're going to be playing Army of the Damned. I've seen people play Unholy Assault. Don't think that it's good, personally, at the moment, but I have seen people play it, but an Army of the Damned is going to be it. So this is the build you're going to play, okay? You're going to look here. This is the build you are going to play, right here. You can change this, like, the only thing you're really going to change, if you're sticking with this build, the only variation really maybe you can switch out sometimes is maybe you want to play Bursting Swords just for a big one-shot at some point, or Clawing Shadows if you're going to kill a paladin through bop. But other than that, you're going to stick with this build, okay? You're going to stick with this build. It's going to be massive damage, like actually probably more damage than anything in the game almost, is what it seems like when I play it. But so as far as PvP talents goes, you're going to look like this, okay? These are going to be your baseline talents, these 3 right here. Your Necromancer's Bargain synergizes really good with the Army of the Damned, and it's going to give you apocalypses like every 20 seconds or so. So you're going to be able to just keep apocalypsing over and over. So this is more so, this spec right here, it's less burst, it's less cooldown oriented, it's more just huge damage all the time. Like you're just bursting constantly, like every 20 seconds you're bursting. So, but yeah, so these are going to be your baseline talents, okay? So you're going to keep these 99% of the time, Necro Wounds and your Necromancer's Bargain, and this is the one you're going to change every game. 99% of the time. So what you're going to change this to usually is going to be Necrotic Aura. That's what I do, Necrotic Aura for the huge damage. Or if you want Doom Burst for like to help your coils apply your wounds for you with your sudden Doom procs, you can do that too sometimes. I do that if I'm like fighting like a warrior or like a hunter, something that might kite me or something. But most of the time I'm playing Necrotic Aura. As far as the other talents go, you're not playing reanimation. It's troll. Life and death sucks. Dark sim, you can play it for fun against like rogue mage sometimes if you want. A-bomb, I play A-bomb into rogue mage so that I can get the rogue out and stop their opener. Dome, I play that into rogue mage as well, or ret paladins, or anything that's gonna one-shot you with magic. Like this, the same as frost. Nothing really changed in this aspect, but what else do we have here? Strangulate. I honestly haven't even played Strangulate. With this new build, I'm going to be honest with you guys, chat. With this new build, the only thing I trade out is this talent, really. And I traded out for Necrotic Aura. That's pretty much it. So, like, this is what your build's going to look like 99% of the time. You could probably play this almost every single game and do well. Minus, like, if you're fighting a mage and you need to zone or something like that. But, yeah. So, as far as that goes, let's see the rest of these. Yeah, these don't really matter. So, yeah, stick with this, really. But try to keep the Spell Warden first. And then, yeah, you should be good. So, let's move on to the next thing here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about here is just going to be your stats and your legendary, okay? Again, it's going to be pretty straightforward. So, the legendary you're going to use with the build that I'm showing you right now is Death Certainty to increase your death coil damage by 35%, because the build is going to be built around big death coils and big dots, okay? So you're almost like a range class. It's kind of crazy, actually. As far as stats go, so my stats on this DK are not optimized the best. My alt is what I've been playing on Holy on, but you're going to want about 15-16% haste, okay? You're going to want 15-16% haste because the haste is going to speed up your GCDs so that you can use abilities faster, and it's going to cap at 16%. So I would say get 16% haste, then after that, Verse Mastery, okay? Pretty straightforward. As far as trinkets go, I'm using this because this is my Frost DK, but you're going to want to use Insignia with this build, because you're just going to be, all you're doing is just PvEing basically with this build. Like, you're just going to be doing maximum PvE damage and just rot people down with crazy damage. So you're going to be wearing the Insignia, okay? And as far as Runeforge goes, you're going to be using Fallen Crusader. Rune of the Fallen Crusader, because it was very good. Very good indeed. Okay, now let's talk about damage. Damage is gonna, a lot of people think it's super complex, but it's really not that complex as you might think. I'm gonna explain it to you simply, okay? I'll explain to you just your normal DPS rotation type thing, and then I'm gonna explain to you how to burst. Both of which are simple. So, okay, the first thing here is that you're always going to want to keep your dot up, all right? You want to keep your dot up on the target on as many targets as much as possible, as much dot uptime as possible. So if you're in 2s or 3s, try and keep it up on everybody. The most ideal time to apply your dot is if multiple targets are stacked, because then it's going to apply it to all the targets for you for the price of 1 rune. So you're going to have more runes for other things then if you do that. So try to prioritize dotting people when they're stacked as opposed to singular dotting. But so that's the first thing. So step 1, keep your dot up. Step 2, you're going to just be applying wounds with Festering Wounds. Like, Festering Wounds is going to put up 2 to 3 wounds per time you apply it, right? And then, so you're going to put up wounds, and then all you're going to do is with Scourge Strike is you're going to pop the wounds. And it's going to apply necrotic wounds on the target as per your PvP talent. So your necrotic wounds stack up. Each time you burst a wound, it applies a necrotic wounds, which goes up to 6 stacks and absorbs 30% of healing. So the gist of it here is, all you're going to do is you're going to keep your dot up, you're going to apply your Festering Wounds, and you're not going to go over 6 Festering Wounds, and then you're just going to burst your wounds with your Scourge Strike. But then, as far as Runic Power goes, once your Runic Power capped, you want to dump your Runic Power with either Death Coils for damage. If you don't need damage and you just need healing, then you're going to Death Strike. But the key thing to try to remember here is you don't want to overcap your Festering Wounds, so make sure you don't Scourge Strike if you have 4. If you have 4 or more wounds, don't press Scourge Strike. Don't press Festering Strike. You'll want to Scourge Strike and break them. Or you'll want to dump your Runic Power, because you don't want to overcap Runic Power. So that's all there is to remember, chat. Keep your dot up, burst your wounds, try to get your necrotic wounds to as high stacks as possible and watch them if you can. And then when you have Runic Power, dump your Runic Power. And then there it is. 3 wounds, we can apply a Fester. Boom, we pop them with Scourge. Pop them with Scourge. And that's all there is to it for your DPS rotation. Just keep your dot up. Don't overcap your Festering Wounds. and then try to keep your necrotic wounds up, and then try not to waste too much runic power. So if your runic power is near capped or it's going to be capped, try to jump some runic power. So that's it. Keep dot up, don't waste too much RP, and then just apply wounds, burst wounds, rinse and repeat. That's all there is to it. Now, as far as your burst rotation with this build goes, it's going to be like pretty much just as simple, okay? So when you're bursting with this build, your 3 bursting cooldowns are going to be Dark Transformation, which is going to be your biggest burst, okay? Dark Transformation is a 1-minute cooldown. This is going to be your biggest burst. And then your other burst cooldowns are going to be A-Bomb Limb and Apocalypse. Well, I guess A-Bomb Limb is part of your biggest burst too, but your most consistent burst is going to be Dark Transformation. So it's 3 cooldowns, okay? So what you're going to want to do when you're bursting is it's going to look a little something like this, okay? Your target is going to be dotted up, obviously, because you're always going to keep it up. You're going to have at least 4 wounds on the target if you want to burst, okay? So you have at least 4 wounds on the target because you're going to be bursting the wounds with your Apocalypse. So we got our wounds up, we got our dot up. This is how you're going to ramp up, okay? The first global, if you want to do maximum damage, is going to be Dark Transformation, and then it's going to be A-Bomb Limb, and then you're going to pop your wounds. And then you see that the Apocalypse is instantly going to burst 4 wounds, and it's going to instantly give you 4 necrotic wounds, absorbing 20% on the target. So one thing to remember when you're bursting with the Apocalypse is try to watch the necrotic wounds on the target. Because say your wounds is at like, your necrotic wounds only last for, I forget how long it is, like 12 seconds or something. 15 seconds. Okay, so they last for 15 seconds. So look at me, look at the target, right? I'm hitting it. The target's got 4 wounds already. Okay, now I'm ready to burst, right? I got my Apocalypse, I'm ready to burst. Right now, the wounds are all about to fall off. If I burst there, boom. I put the 4 wounds, but they all just got wasted because they instantly fell off, right? So that's the only, you're going to want to kind of watch that when you go to burst. Because you're going to have Apocalypse up a lot of the time, right? But if you have wounds on the target and they're going to fall in 1 second, don't Apocalypse and put those 4 wounds on that second. Just wait the 1 second and for them to fall and then instantly reapply them. Because you're going to be absorbing a lot more healing. If you can manage your wounds and try and keep as much wound uptime on the target as you can, it's going to be absorbing a lot more healing. But as far as bursting goes, that's literally it. You're just like Dark Transformation, Apocalypse, boom, there's your burst right there. Like pretty simple. And then just keep doing your rotation, you know, keep your dot up, keep dumping your runic power. That's pretty much it. Like it's pretty straightforward. This build is pretty much just, like I said, a maximum PvE build. You're going to do so much damage, people are just going to rot down, especially if you have a priest or a shaman with you or something. But yeah, that's the damage rotation, so pretty straightforward. Like, I'm going to recap one more time. Keep your dot up, apply your wounds, burst your wounds, dump your runic power. That's pretty much it. And as far as burst goes, Dark Transformation, Unholy Blight, or sorry, we're not playing Unholy Blight. Dark Transformation, A-Bomb Limb, Apocalypse. And try not to waste the Festering Wounds. The last thing we're going to take a look at here is going to be our conduits. So these are going to be pretty cut and dry. You're just going to play look at my screen right now, and this is exactly what you're going to play, okay? If you're fighting against casters, you're going to switch rows, right? Like if you're not fighting a caster, or even if you are and you just want to play this, you can play this row. You see a caster, boom, you switch over to the big shell. But these are the things, right? You're going to play the dot conduit because we're playing the dot build, right? So this is going to make, if you play this, it's going to make your dot be like a 9-second dot. But if you play the conduit, you're going to have to apply it a lot less. So it's going to save you globals and it's going to do more damage. This is just healing. This is for the huge death coils. See this? This is why we're playing this, for double sudden doom procs. Because our sudden dooms are going to be hitting higher than ever. They're going to be hitting potentially even like 17Ks. And then Convocation of the Dead. This is just to get even faster apocalypses, right? Because like I said, look at our apocalypse cooldowns, 30 seconds, right? With this talent, every death coil reduces the apocalypse by 1 second. And since we're playing the death coil build, we're spamming death coils. So it's going to be really fast apocalypses between this and the Convocation. But finally, if you guys only have a Frenzied Monstrosity and you don't have the death coil legendary, you can play that too. It's just going to be a little bit worse with this because your pet can get CC'd and it's not as consistent, I don't think. This Death's Uncertainty just seems really good. But other than that, there it is. With this, you guys should be able to succeed. I've been playing this build and I've been watching other people play this build, and it seems honestly like disgusting damage. It's so fun, in my opinion. You're literally like a ranged necromancer type thing. You just do disgusting damage. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys got any questions or anything like that, leave a comment down below and I'll help you out. And if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.